Welcome to Blush Podcast, where kink meets candor, curiosity meets confidence, and nothing is off limits. This episode, we're diving into the world of latex, leather, lashes, and liberation with a very special guest. From the shadows of London's underground to the center of the global fetish scene, he's one of the masterminds behind the most infamous erotic playground on the planet. Today, we're talking with Paul from Torture Garden. Get ready to unlace your inhibitions. This is Blush Podcast.
Paul, it's earlier in the day than it is for us. Do you have an adult beverage, like a mimosa or something?
I don't. I mean, I'm so old now that I can't even do adult beverages. Very rare. So, when you're over 50 something, I'd say over. You lovely ladies probably don't know, but when you get into mid 50s, you're like, it's a whole another ball game to have any kind of adult beverage. So I have my coffee, which is about as adult as I get. If I have something, it's like on a Friday night, I have to take the weekend off.
Yeah.
That's about it. But adult beverage away. It looks like.
Okay. We haven't discussed them yet. I was going to say, let's try to do that before Paul hops on, but then you showed up. So we'll talk about our beverages, and then we can get into all the nitty gritty.
Please do.
Okay, Brandon, what you got? Girl?
Okay, so mine is Magnum VS.
Magnum.
I knew you would like that. It's a wild strawberry. It says, sweet drip, bold flavored wine. Indulge in wild... Do you want me to do this in my narrator voice?
Yes.
Okay.
I also like that it says sweet drip.
All right. Indulge in wild strawberry. A sweet wine cocktail that wraps you in the embrace of rich, ripe strawberry. This bold burst of flavor enhances every moment with smooth, velvety sweetness and that lingering, memorable finish. Pour it up and pass that Magnum VS sweet drip.
They knew what they were doing, for sure.
They did.
That was amazing, especially with your sexy voice. Okay, give me the smells
getting there.
and the tastes and all that stuff.
Definitely strawberry.
Give it to me, Brandon.
Oh, I'm gonna give it to you hard. Okay. Super strawberry, obvious. Holy shitball, it's really sweet. Like really sweet. So a swallow, but not like a guzzle, a chuzzle, or whatever we were saying last night.
Yeah.
Definitely more of like a slow sip.
I think you said chuggle.
Chuggle.
Yes,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Slow sip.
Slow sip.
Because I'm a good girl, like you keep saying, I will swallow it.
Okay, good. Okay, so mine, since it is like middle of the day, I did a Zinfandel because I usually like the bolder reds, but this is a little. You're not selling that swallow.
I'm trying.
So this is a lot 22. There's like nothing on the back of this. Corvalia Zinfandel, sustainably grown and harvested from the rolling hills of Paso Robles. That's it. That's all it's got.
History.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm usually not a Zin fan, but I didn't want to like go hardcore. And it smells like a Zin, berry and jam, but like thinner than like a cab, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love your slurping noises.
I know. That's basically what it tastes like. It's pretty good. I'm not a big Zin fan, so
Yeah.
I would probably sip, but also swallow. It's a sip and swallow. In small doses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we are here today with a super special interview. This is Paul, who is the president of the Faustian Society, and they are responsible for putting on Torture Garden events, which are amazing. And we're going to chat with him. He was here with us about a year ago, I think. But that interview was just for subscribers, so this is going to be for everybody.
Very cool.
Thanks again for joining us, Paul.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Of course. Okay, so can you tell people a little bit about Faustian Society and Torture Garden?
Yeah, sure. So Faustian Society has been going approximately a decade now. It's a fascinating combination of an event production company and actually a marketing company too. My background was kind of marketing. And we decided back in kind of 2008 when I moved to the States, so there wasn't anything like Torture Garden event in the States. And what I mean by that is that it's a very specific European flavored event, which is kind of heavily stage orientated, and we fly performers from all over the world. So we'll have shibari like Kanoko from Japan, for example, and we'll have performers from the UK like Missy Fatale, or we'll bring people from Poland like Suka Off, who's playing our New York event in September. And we basically thought that there was a space in the kind of entertainment field for a European flavored fetish event, basically. And we are a hardcore fetish event. There's no debate about that. So, that's kind of what we tried to do. We've built it over a number of cities, centering on, unfortunately, the big kind of 4 or 5, just because at the moment it's difficult finding venues, and we try and do annuals and kind of semi-annual events, pop-up stuff too, but basically around kind of Los Angeles, San Francisco, Las Vegas, New York. But we would love to do other areas. It's just we have a kind of small team that we kind of, at every event, we kind of fan out to people in the area. But yeah, I mean, the actual brand itself's been going kind of 30 years in the UK and Europe, and we're just expanding it really across the US and having a lot of fun doing it. So we are, as I say, specifically hardcore fetish, and we're hoping to expand that a little bit into other things that we do. But that's our kind of core element, core audience, really.
Yeah, I love it. It's very decadent, but in like the fetish sphere.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
we well said. I think we try and. Well, I mean, we call ourselves really more of like an artistic club. I mean, it's that old school Berlin Weimar Republic vibe, or the Versailles vibe from Louis XIV's time. We try and. I think the difference, humbly, between Torture Garden is that we try and kind of elevate the experience a little bit. I mean, our idea is to create a night you won't forget. So the ones I used to go to in the 90s in the UK, it was really one of those nights where you would make an effort and you would look forward to it and you would plan it, your outfit. It wasn't like an every week clubbing event. It was like an elevated experience which you really look forward to. So we're trying to bring that concept really to the States, and also bring international performers that you won't see anywhere else. We don't really hire a lot of American performers. Sometimes in the city we're in, but mainly we're trying to bring European performers here, so that an individual going to our event will be like, this is the one time on the American stage I'm going to see these kind of acts.
That's cool.
So we try to make it really special and unique.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's really cool, and it like really does make it like a once in a lifetime experience. Like even if you went to Torture Garden LA 3 years in a row, it would be completely different every time. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, we try and the format is that it's a stage show that runs from kind of the doors open at 9. It goes on to like 2 or 3 a.m. usually, especially in LA, and then between 9 and 11, you're getting some of the top DJs that we bring in again internationally with a variety of music, from dubstep to techno, industrial or whatever. And then by 11 o'clock, really till kind of 1:30, we're doing the shows, which run probably 15 minutes each. We'll have a fashion show as well. Again, an international fashion show. Last year's one, I think, was from Paris. I think this year's one's going to be from Munich. So that's kind of the concept, the format. We like to mess with it a little bit, but it kind of gets into that routinized format a little bit, where it's a beautiful stage show with DJs, etc. And then obviously we have a special dungeon area, which is compared by our good friends at Sanctuary Studios. You'll have DOMs and subs and permission to play elements, etc. in that area. So hopefully we have something for everyone.
Yeah. So the dungeon area, I think last time we talked, you said you can't officially call yourself a sex club because of like US stipulations. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. And we never, I mean, it's never known as, even in the UK and Europe, it's not really seen as a sex club. I mean, in the UK and Europe, you can there is a couples room where people, who have signed waivers, etc., or accept the terms of that place can play, which are a little different in the US because we don't have those kind of structures. Unfortunately, there is a lot more red tape here, and it's a lot more difficult to do things like that.
Right.
So that's the difference between a UK and European event. That we can't actually have a couples room. What we can have is a dungeon area that people can play if they've signed waivers, etc., and they can, or doms and subs can perform on them if it's agreed, or couples can, integrate with themselves if it's all agreed. So it's kind of a grey area that needs to be policed, which is done very well by my staff. But it's not officially a sex club. I mean, because obviously full sex in any kind of establishment is pretty much prohibited in the US.
Right.
And we don't...
Doesn't mean people don't do it.
Right.
That's another story. Yeah, as long as I don't see it, or as long as the cops don't see it, we're okay. But if we have to be quite careful about stuff like that, unfortunately. And I do think that sometimes it makes it a little more illicit, or something. Sometimes maybe more the after party might be a little more. If we do an after party, that's becoming increasingly difficult with the venues, or lack of venues in LA, and the lack of safe venues, I should say. That's we only use licensed venues just because we have been offered, obviously, warehouse things in downtown LA, but we just don't want to put our people through that kind of. It's getting more dangerous, I think, down there, and so our main priority is the safety for our patrons, and that unfortunately means registered clubs like Avalon or the Globe Theatre, and unfortunately that means that comes with rules and stipulations. But we try and push the envelope as much as we can within
As
that.
you should.
I mean, it wouldn't be Torture Garden if you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. We go as far as we can, because we can't go as far as we can in Europe.
Exactly. Europe's always more fun,
Exactly.
I was going to say, it's interesting how sex is viewed so differently in the U.S. And not to get into a bunch of political bullshit,
but
our current administration is not helping that in any way.
Correct.
But it's just always interesting. So, like, my family is Finnish, and you go to a sauna and you're nude with your coworkers, and nobody thinks anything of it. Whereas here, if you did that, oh my God, like.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's kind of it could be a 12-hour discussion. I think there's some elements which you speak of, but I feel like America's probably because the Puritanism of the people that originally came here. Maybe it's in the DNA. Sometimes I feel like it's the corporate amalgamation of our kind of mentality that maybe has come in, where everything I feel in my lifetime has come a lot more vanilla, just because we're now. And I'm not. I take your point on the political side, which I agree up to a point, but I do think there's more of a kind of cultural and generational shift where I think because sex has been used to sell everything from toothpaste to beer. I don't know whether there's some kind of fatigue, and I think, like you say, that the real sexuality seems to have been pariahed in a way. It's bizarre.
It just feels like, and you're absolutely right with marketing. That's such a big thing. But when you look at, so again, there's this like hypocrisy of, for men, it's okay. For women to enjoy it, totally different. Now you're a slut, you're this, you're that, you're this other thing. And it's just like, why the double standard? Which that's just one of my biggest pet peeves, is the double standard when it comes to male versus female. Because that's, especially when you look at throughout history, the way sex is viewed and how it's viewed for men versus women. And it's always been such a big divide. And there's a lot of control there and reason behind it. It's like controlling women's sexuality, controlling all of this, but men can do whatever the fuck they want. And it just drives me a little insane.
Yeah.
No, I hear that. And I think, but again, coming from where I came from, the UK, which is a bizarre combination of kind of repressed, but very open. I mean, all the stuff that's kind of come from the UK, the cultural movements, the musical movements, all come from a sense of like repression, but it's in juxtaposition to that, you get these amazing things like the Beatles or punk or whatever comes from
Yeah.
that repression. I think the female sexuality thing, specifically in the American psyche, is, it was obviously fear based. I mean, it's all it literally
Yes.
comes from. It's fear of female sexuality, which is intimidating to men and usurping of men. And I've had the discussions before where I think men overcompensate for being basically not as important as the female of the species. So in that regard, if you're a praying mantis, you couple with, if you're a female, you couple with a praying mantis, then you kill
Then you eat
the
it.
male
Yeah.
because really has no other function. And I think men know they have a 3-second function well, maybe more if you're lucky. Let's say 5 seconds.
I feel like we've had this
Be
conversation
generous.
recently, Kelly.
Yeah.
Let's be generous. And then really we have no other part in the, I mean, that's debatable, but I mean, the
Right.
precious little part apart from what is our role then? Okay, we're providers, so let's do that. But that provision thing, I think, still is an insecurity that only comes through the culture we have now, which is money based and commercial based. So I think men just feel like, I think they know in their DNA subconsciously that they're not as important. And I think so they overcompensate like anyone does when they don't feel important. They overcompensate. And I think that's just how they've kind of constructed society, or some societies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more known. I think it's
Right.
I think men kind of know it. And I think, the reason why the male mortality, the suicide rate is so high is because of that. I think people know we're the CEO of the company, but really our function is pretty limited. And I think that's I think it's a problem on both sides. I mean, I know the patriarch argument really well, and I agree with it. But I also feel that, but I think patriarchy is a double-edged sword for both sexes. I think men get trapped into roles as much as women do. I think women feel it a lot more because it's embedded in all of those things you speak of from time immemorial, whether it's religion, government, sex, or the kind of tech corporate world we live in where everything's about likes. Now, when I was younger growing up, I was involved in the punk movement, and punks didn't want to be liked. I mean, it was the opposite.
Right.
We feared and hated, and we wanted to change things. But now, once you have a like button, I think getting everyone into even subconsciously into a mode where they're thinking, "Oh, I've got to be liked now. I've got to, I've got to conform as well." And I think that's there's a whole plethora of things there that I think is very sad. I think the older you get, the more you realize, oof, it's been like this for millennia. The sad thing is, it's almost like you have to live within that system, even though you don't agree with any of it
or subscribe to it.
I think we're all prisoners in that way. In some the only way you can navigate it around it is personally setting up your life how you want it to be personally, and all the interpersonal relationships within that is part of that remit. But I feel for people. I don't know what I would tell my daughters about the future. I don't know how easy it is for them to navigate those waters, and I don't know what's coming with regards to how society is going to shift, or but it's troubling, and I think that's why the world is in such a chaotic state right now. I think all of those things are kind of coming to a head a little bit.
Geez, we just got real
That's
serious.
a long way from that.
I feel like when you do it for likes, it's very like the authenticity isn't there. And
You're hitting on something that's really difficult, and in fact, something that we're experiencing right now with Faustian is like we get to a certain level, but to be honest with you, for us to grow beyond those parameters, like, is always the question, and how to do it. And we're in a tough position right now. It's been a very tough year for us. With a number of things. So we were literally in the state of a month or so ago of being right down to the wire financially in regards to the fact that these events cost money to do, and we were in a position where we don't have that money. So then we're reaching out to possible sponsors, and we have a bunch of sponsors that have come on board, but there's always that feeling of compromise, and the problem is always how do you hang on to that authenticity in a commercial world, which is kind of demanding that you sell out. And the problem is, if you don't sell out, you are placed into a cul-de-sac, possibly, which is fine if you're happy to live within those parameters. But if you want to expand, and I don't mean even expand to be a multimillionaire or have a Rolls Royce, I mean as in I just want to do other events in other cities. Unfortunately, that Faustian bargain sometimes you have to deal with the devil is really difficult, and that is always, that commercial aspect is always a problem. I think because even if you are a genuine, which I think Faustian is, and I think your podcast is a genuine, authentic model, at some stage to expand, like you say, into the to the main. I don't even want to word them the mainstream, but into some other stream even. There's a real conundrum there of like, okay, we could stay in this cul-de-sac, which is perfectly fine, and it could grow to a slightly bigger cul-de-sac or a big cul-de-sac, but to really expand the way we wanted to. So there's the rub. I mean, there's the difficulty in a commercial world is you do still keep having to get those dollars coming in to be able to do anything, and that's the real conundrum for us going forward.
I feel like, especially for Faustian events, I feel like you need to have that 100% authenticity.
Yeah, it would hinder. Yeah.
Because it's part of the experience. Part of what draws so many people in is it's people on the fringe, and they're like, this is a place where I can be 100% me.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah,
that's why I really want to go when you have this event in New York, and I'm like, I want to go. Now my thing is, Kelly, make this a clip.
Okay.
If there's an airline or a corporate person that wants to sponsor my flight, that would be amazing.
Are you asking for a sugar daddy? Is this what you're asking for?
Let me finish. I've got a point. I'm getting there.
Okay.
If you would like to pay for my flight to New York, there and back from this area in Kansas, hit me up. You let me know what you want. We'll make that happen. I would like someone to sponsor me to go to New York, just to fly there. I can also say a lot of things because I narrate. So if you want something, or if you want it in Finnish and you won't have any fucking idea what I'm saying, sponsor my ticket so that I can go to this event in New York. That would be fucking amazing because I really, really want to go. Like this is like a life thing for me. And you would be making a dream come true. And please and thank you. And yes, daddy. Yes, mommy.
Just call her a good girl and it's all good.
Yeah.
There's a select few, Kelly. A select few, and you have to be able to pull that off correctly.
You have to do it right.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. But yes, please and thank you. Hit me up. My tag is a girl named Brandon. You can find me on everything.
It's pretty easy. So, yeah, let's go back to Torture Garden. I really want Brandon to come as well.
Girl, I want to come too. You know how long
that's what she said. That's what she said. So anyway, yes. So Torture Garden, New York is coming up in September.
September 13th?
Yes, let's pretend that we're doing an actual interview now.
Shut up. This is like our normal interviews.
I know it is. It's great. So tell everybody, and each Torture Garden has a theme, right?
Usually, I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no. This one's just our regular kind of Torture Garden, New York. We've been doing it at the Chocolate Factory. We had a venue called the Capitale, but that unfortunately closed. So we've been at the Chocolate Factory the last couple of years. The Capitale was a very salubrious, beautiful old 1930s bank. The Chocolate Factory is more Brooklyn, more kind of a grungy aesthetic, but still pretty nice. And we, as I say, we've done that the last couple of years. So September 13th, tickets are on sale, obviously, at Dice at the moment. And it's 70 Scott Avenue in Brooklyn, the Chocolate Factory. So, we have, as I say, Sukhatov from Poland coming. We've got Konoko from Japan doing his legendary Shibari, a bunch of other performers and some amazing DJs too. So it's going to be a really great night. We tell people, rest to it. Yeah, and you need to go. Yeah. You definitely need to go. You can't miss that. And then we've got LA coming in November, but we haven't announced the date yet. It's probably going to be mid-November. We're just finalizing venue details, and the next couple of weeks, probably tickets will go on sale for that as well. And then, as I say,
I want to do LA for sure.
You must. Yeah, you must do LA.
Yeah, so I've been to fetish parties and stuff, but everything I've seen for Torture Garden is just like above and beyond. Like everything, I was like, this is like what happens inside my head. This is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try and elevate it, and we're hoping that, but there are other events I like. I know the Bondage Ball does a lot, and I mean, I haven't been for a few years, but I think there's a lot of room for everyone. Like, there's no real. I know there's a lot of groups coming up. I like Dungeon Delore in Los Angeles, who we're probably going to try and do an after party with for LA. Are really great. They do a bunch of good stuff. There's some brands I really like. Some events I really like. It's just a personal choice. I mean, the humbly, I would say, from our point of view, we just do the best we can. We try and elevate it with the resources we have. We try and, as I say, get international performers instead of local performers. We just do the show that we would like to see, and that is at a certain level for us and a certain investment, and that's where we come from. But not to denigrate any of the other events that are out there. We're happy to coexist with them, and I feel that being a co-producer, being on the other side, I know what it costs these days to put on an event, to hire a venue, be responsible for a bar. And I know it's really tough for people too. Like, people are hurting for money in this economy, so they're choosing where they spend their money. They're choosing what they're spending their money on. We want to give value for money, and we can't. If we could, we would like to have it a lot more cheaper than it is, but it's just not possible with the kind of overheads we have.
Still, so like I've looked at I've looked at a few different things, and I feel like and you can tell, like, it's not just, oh, we're trying to gut you of all your money. It's you're really giving value for what you do, which hats off to you guys, because a lot of people are more about, I just want the money and fuck what their experience is, and you guys aren't like that, and I love that.
Yeah. And I think it comes through, like, it really is a once in a lifetime experience, and it comes through that you really believe in what you're producing as well.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, we have to put our heads on the pillow at the end of the night, and no one's, we're doing this for love. No one's necessarily making millions out of it. So I get, you have to do it for the love, because if you're not, you won't last, I think. So hopefully, I appreciate you saying that. In my head, sometimes I'm like,
honest, like, it's real.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we're like, but we look at the, just to make sure that all of our performers are paid decently and flown over okay and put up for a couple of nights, and those kind of things are important.
That's so important. That's so important, and I think that so many events don't think about that. Like,
in that regard, we do our best, and I know from both sides. I used to be in bands, and I know how that goes, and when you're on the other side of it.
Wait, you were in a band. What did you do?
I was going to bring this up.
What did you do in the band?
I was going to bring the band up. He was in an industrial band.
I used to be a singer and lyricist, and it was like an industrial band from the UK.
For anyone else, Paul, if you want people to check you out, would you like to name your band?
Oh my god!
Because you have YouTube stuff.
I honestly don't even think you can find anything. Like,
we'll find it. I'll find it.
We did the band originally was called Bent USA, BENT, and then U.S.A. I'm sure there's literally hardly anything left. There used to be a website, we had, larger management.
Already found it. Found it.
Yeah, horrible.
Known for their techno, punk, and electronic music, they formed in the UK and have a reputation for their extreme sound and chaotic stage performance.
Terrible stuff. But yeah, that's originally what I was doing. So I understand from the point of the performer how you get treated at things. So we're always trying to be respectful, and these are very talented people that we're working with as well. Like, and sometimes they're doing dangerous stuff, from, hanging from 60 feet off the air or whatever, and so that's a whole.
Wait, do you have people that do like the silks and the hoop and stuff? Because that's fucking amazing.
And we have this hook suspensions too. We do a lot of the hooks, which are insane.
I love it.
Yeah, and the fashion show last year at Torture Garden, New York, was all latex. Was it latex? No.
Yeah, was that black licorice, or it could have been?
I think it was. I know black licorice was there, and then there was another one too, because I was like, I love everything. I want all of this. I think it was like a lot of latex, and I was like,
All I get, okay, so when I think of latex, I think of that Friends episode with Ross where he has to put like the water in the baby powder, and he's trying to pull up his leather.
And he's trying to pull up his pants.
Pretty much what it's like.
Honestly, I'm like, I know I would be sweating my ass off. Like,
once
how
you
the
get all
fuck do I
sweaty,
get
because
it
it's
on?
so hot, you know.
Yeah.
Even the synthetic stuff, like the wet look, like just like spandex or whatever, it's so hot.
I see all our performers do it. I have to do it to a varying degree.
And then
It's
to like perform also, like so hot.
I know.
That's why they have like easy access, like zippers and whatever. So
Yeah.
You do, but even still, it's
right.
not.
So you don't have to take 12 years to take it off.
Yeah.
But even still,
You see, even still,
I'm,
it's a lot, and I hats off to them. I do it myself, and you lose a few pounds that night.
Yeah.
you do.
But it's worth it. Well,
yeah. So speaking of attire, can you, for someone who's like never been to a fetish party or a club or anything like this, can you describe sort of like what people wear, what they, and I also want you to talk about the consent aspect too.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we always say that it says it on our websites like torturegardenlosangeles.com or faustiansociety.com. We have dress codes on the website, and we're obviously looking for fetish attire, homemade things. You can buy from places like Vex Clothing. There's a great fashion designer we've worked with a long time called House of SXN.
I know
him a lot. Yeah, and he does.
Yeah, and Vex is really good too.
Yeah, there's also an Armenian lady called Renee Masumian. She does some really great stuff. So there's stuff you can find. There's stuff you can make. Or you reach out to us. We get a lot of pictures from people saying, "Is this appropriate?" And we just say, obviously, no club wear or stay away from jeans. Just think about it.
So my golf club attire would not work out, is what you're saying.
No. I'm afraid not. And we're getting stricter because, if we let people in and then our crowd gets annoyed because it's like, why? And it does happen. I mean, sometimes I'm not on the front and people will slip through somehow, or, whatever. My peoples can sometimes not be as strict. I mean, I'm usually patrolling the door, but if people get in, I think it just brings down the whole kind of vibe where it just ruins the aesthetic, and people don't like that. They really give me shit if I let people in with jeans or anything that's not hardcore fetish. So you don't have to spend a huge amount of money. I mean, people do spend a huge amount of money on stuff like that. Yeah, it's fun, and and also, I mean, it's something that you can reuse. So if you buy a top for $500 or something, I know it's a lot of money, but then you can use that maybe 3, 4, 5 times at various events. No one's going to be like, "Oh, you wore that last time." So I say invest in a couple of outfits that you're comfortable in. You can always email us, talk@faustiansociety.com, and ask. There's a lot of information online, or go to the Stockroom in LA, which is a store that we partner with. There's Vex Clothing. There's a plethora online. Just make something yourself, or we like that kind of, and it was much more in Europe where people would kind of design their own outfits, and we like that. Sometimes in America, it's a little more cookie cutter. They like to buy something and just go. But there's a lot of places out there which you can investigate.
A place I like. It's not for like latex, but she does amazing corsets and other whatever. It's called Dracula Clothing, and she's out of Poland. And she's amazing. It's like all like handmade, and it's beautiful. And she was like, I started this because if you try to buy a corset, it's like $300.
Yeah.
And so her prices are really...
And they're not even custom to fit you.
Right. So she will take your measurements, custom fit it to you. She's amazing. And it's not just corsets. She has dresses and coats, and she has clothes for guys. Like it's awesome.
There's one out of San Francisco, I think, called Dark Garden Corsetry. I think they're a little more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I think she does stuff.
I've heard of that one too, yeah.
There's plenty of places out there to find stuff, and we can always help.
Tune in next time for part 2 of our Torture Garden interview with Paul. We'll discuss their safety protocols, illicit stories from our past, and so much more.